Why, hello there everyone, how's it going? I'm the Kumo Sensei, and man, it's officially Saturday. So, there's a lot to talk about, but I'm waiting for everybody to drop in so we can have an actual discussion on anime today, because my god, I have have a lot of opinions about some of the animes this season. Some are hits, some are misses, and some are kind of in between. And some of them I will go into a bit more detail. But hello there, John. Hope everything's going well. Man, we have a lot to discuss here. There's a lot, like too much we have to discuss here, everyone. But I'm gonna wait for more people to come in, so that way we can have an actual discussion. Because oh man, I have okay, I'm gonna have a bit of biases, but it's not because I hate these shows or I'm overhyping them. It's just my personal opinions, thoughts, and everything kind of mixed in together. So, I'm waiting. I'm super excited to see. That's how you know I'm excited. I just can't keep up with myself today. But there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Like a lot of stuff. Not in my life, but like I'm talking about like anime right now. There's a lot of anime stuff happening. It is just crazy. How does everything happen on the weeks that I'm busy? Like, it is gonna be so interesting. I really want to talk about Solo Leveling though, because that's the first one I want to get out of the way, and then we'll start slowly going over the news little by little, because there's some news articles I skipped by, or some news articles that I didn't really have time to read because, man, I had to work. I've been working more hours. Oh yeah, and we're almost at the halfway point on our funds for my surgery. Yay, halfway. That is going to be very interesting. And my hair is a bit frolic in a way. And the reason why is because yesterday, I didn't style my hair, but I got hit with a lot of wind because it was super windy the other day. But yeah, that's why my hair is looking like it just got blown in. So, I watched Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 21 dub, and it was so great. Oh man, I love Jujutsu Kaisen. You saw the IGN review. I'm gonna go into depth about that later on, about IGN giving their rating on Jujutsu Kaisen, because I thought that rating was absolutely strange. Hello there, Mr. O, and hello there, Nomasonto. Let's go, Kumo. Still going. Surprisingly, I'm still going strong. But I really want to talk about anime, so I'm waiting for Marco to get here because he's one of our common folk that comes into our live streams. He's been around since the beginning, but once we get everybody in here, we're going to be talking about anime though, because man, I have a lot I want to say about Solo Leveling though, especially. So that's going to be the first topic we're going to talk about on this live stream once everyone comes in, because I know a lot about anime, too much about anime. So for everyone who's not familiar with how I do stuff here on this on these live streams, I technically talk about anime and then go into depth about it. And we're talking about anime studio, voice actors, etc. And usually when it comes to anime reviewers, quote unquote, people just talk about the anime itself, but I do not do that. I actually like to give a fair shake. So I go pretty much in depth. And it's kind of funny because it seems like everybody who watches my live streams will usually learn something new, or something that, like, oh, that's some cool trivia. But stick around, guys, because man, I have so much to say. There's Alright, I'm gonna give like about 5 more minutes until we hop into this anime discussion, because I have a lot of anime stuff I really want to talk about. And I really do want to read some articles with you guys that I haven't read earlier this week because I missed on it. But yeah, we'll jump into Crunchyroll news and my Animes News Network later. But for now, let us talk a bit about this current anime season and whatnot. So I have been watching some of the current animes this season. Some of them are okay. Some of them, I don't know what to expect. I wouldn't necessarily say they're horrible because we're only about 2 to 4 episodes in per for each anime this season. So it's too early to give it a fair shake, if you get what I'm saying. because I don't really want to judge anime early on, you know? We still have a lot to go, so I'm gonna be mildly be cautious, I guess. I guess that's the right term to put it. So let us not be too biased. But here's my disclaimer. When I give you my opinions, it's gonna sound a bit biased, but it's not because I'm biased, it's because I'm gonna be throwing in a bunch of facts, and not facts, but a bunch of trivia stuff that you may not know, especially solo leveling, because I have strong mixed feelings on like a bunch of this stuff. So I don't want people to be coming in saying I'm wrong and whatnot. It's not that I'm wrong, it's just the fact that I don't know how to put it. I just have a strange outlook on anime, because I don't like judging anime by anime standards, if you get what I'm saying, because anime in itself is just one medium. You had to judge everything, so it's gonna sound a bit biased, but it's not biased, I promise you. It's just going to be like confusingly confusing, if you get what I'm saying, which a lot of you won't, but that's the way I am though, guys. I'm the anime guy that is too anime for you people. But man, okay, we have about 2 more minutes, but yeah, though, I am pretty much caught up with a lot of this current anime season that I want to watch, but there could be more in the future that we could talk about here. And if anybody has anything, like, I don't know, I guess anything they really want to talk about, I guess it's an open conversation after all, so anything anime will go. And that is the whole point of this live stream, is really just to chill with you guys, so don't look at this as like me giving you guys anime news. It's more so of us hanging out, just talking about whatever's trivialized today. But there is a bit of bias coming in though, in a way, but not really. So, have you read Solo Leveling? We're gonna talk about that, because I am not caught up with Solo Leveling. I'm not caught up with the manhwa. Okay, so that is my disclaimer here. I've only read so far into the manhwa, so I do know what's going to happen because the anime is not caught up to there yet, but I am not completely caught up with Solo Leveling in itself. Now, from what I've heard, now this is from what I've heard, okay? I've heard that Solo Leveling starts going downhill later on in the series, and to be honest, I am not too surprised. But I'm going to go into depth about that in a little bit. Just give us 1 more minute. About 1 more minute, and then I'm going to actually hop in and talk about Solo Leveling, because like oh man, there's a lot we have to talk about here for Solo Leveling. I'm not gonna be like the person who goes over like skipped content and whatnot. I'm just gonna go over a bit about the anime studio, the people behind it, who's, you know, doing this, who's doing that. And yeah, it's not anything too crazy, guys. It's more so just me giving you my personal take and whatnot. Now, yeah, it's kind of strange to say that, but I think we've waited long enough, guys. So without further ado, let us hop in. Hold up, let me pull it up real quick. Alrighty, we're here. Let me see. Bingo. Solo Leveling 8.45. And let us zoom in for a second here. It is kind of hard to see for you guys. There it goes. I think you guys can see that better. So, this is Solo Leveling, the anime here, not the manhwa. So this is the anime's rating. It's 8.45 on my anime list. And honestly, that is not a bad score. Hear me out. Everybody was expecting this to be like a 9 or higher. I personally think this score here is fair. But hear me out. I honestly think that this score is going to go downhill. Don't hate me for saying that, but that's just my personal opinion here. Today is Mone Kami Shirahashi's birthday, 26th birthday. She is the voice of Mitsuha Mizu in Your Name. Oh, happy birthday to her. Thanks for the info, John. Appreciate that. I'm not too familiar with Monet, to be honest. Sorry, I'll admit when I don't know things because I don't want to pretend like I know everything. I don't. I only know what I know. So I will do some research on that, John. Just hold up. Let me talk about solo leveling here. So solo leveling. Let us get into this discussion. So the problem I have. Let's talk about the cons and then the pros later. Okay. So what is the biggest, like, what are some downsides to this anime? The first thing is that it's an anime adapted in manga. In my personal, like, experience watching animes adapted from manhwas, I personally don't ever see them working that well. Very few of them do. So far, in my personal experience and my personal time watching manhwa anime adaptations, one of the better ones is probably Tower of God. I'm not saying it's the best one, it's one of the better ones. Are my anime lists actually accurate? No, but to be fair though, this is pretty much the only user base that has ratings from everybody, like the users itself, not from a bunch of like randos. So like if you want an overall collective rating, I think my anime list is the better place to gauge a better rating, if you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not perfect by any means. It really isn't, but it gives a fair shake for users to actually leave a rating. So I'm just gonna go based on my anime list as of now, but I want people to understand that coming in, so that's why I'm using my anime list, because there's really no other anime rating website out there that it is fair. So in comparison to my anime list, but hear me out. So where was I? So in terms of anime adaptation, the reason why I have a bit of a problem is that this manhwa adaptation suffers from what everything suffers from: anime adaptations. Now hear me out. Manhwas has a very unique style. The aesthetics and the art style and how everything moves and flows is different from how manga does. And let alone see, people compare manhwas to manhwas. Manhwas to mangas, my bad. And here's the thing. Manhwas and mangas are, to be fair, they're comic book forms of mediums, but they're completely separate entities in itself. So it just doesn't really translate as well into an anime. It does a fine job, what A1 Picture has, the anime studio A1 Pictures have done. But here's the real thing that kind of makes it a strange adaptation. It does the Sword Art Online approach to this anime. For those who don't know, A1 Pictures is the same anime studio that made Sword Art Online. And although they did make the first 2 seasons of the 7 Deadly Sins and some other great animes out there, I have it feels like they took Solo Leveling and then Sword Art Online, the whole thing. Even I don't know who's doing the music production for the anime, but just listening to the OSTs and Solo Leveling, I really feel that Sword Art Online kicking in. Like, it is strange. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just talking about A1 Pictures here adapting this anime adaptation of this manhwa, and that's currently where I stand. It gives a very strange feeling. And also, this is a big issue I do not like about Japanese anime adapted manhwas. They keep changing the names of the Korean characters and giving them Japanese names. I do not like that, because it takes away from the manhwa aspect, because manhwas are South Korean mangas essentially. And I feel like once you start changing the culture aspect quite a bit, it starts to lose its original elements. Now granted, I have read a little bit of Solo Leveling. But the anime is not caught up to where I stopped. Now, I don't know exactly what happens in the manhwa. Well, I do kind of actually, but no spoilers, but it does go downhill. And now I'm going to talk about a bit about manhwas, and this is not really a hot take because this somewhat has validity to it. I personally do think that the manhwas suffer the most towards the ending. Every manhwa I've ever read that has concluded suffers from the ending. And it feels like, it's not what I feel like, it's what I've seen. So from what I've seen, from reading a bunch of manhwas in the past, it's always the beginning that's good, and then there's always that climax, and then after that big moment, everything just goes plateau, or it just goes downhill. And then by the time by the time it comes around to rapid conclusion, I feel like it's either not proper or there are plot holes in it. It's very rare that a manhwa will actually have a proper conclusion. Hear me out. So, if anyone has read a manhwa that is a completed manhwa series that has an actual good ending with no plot holes, please post it. Like, please tell me, because I have not seen one yet. I'm not even kidding when I say that. It is very rare for that to happen. So, like, I honestly think that Solo Leveling is going to do fine its first season here, but I really do think that at some point it is going to start going downhill quite a bit. And this doesn't really apply to just manhwa, but pretty much any manga as well. Because now that I think about it, there is very few series that has actual conclusions. Very few. This is why I don't really have like a solid top 10 of all time, like for my favorite animes, because some series, the majority of series I like are not properly concluded yet. Like they're still ongoing, or we just never got an anime adaptation for it. So I'm not gonna say that this is gonna be like tying it all back together, everyone. I'm not saying this is going to be a bad anime adaptation towards the later half, but what I'm saying is that I am very cautious about where this is going. And honestly, like the hype, I don't really stand behind this Solo Leveling hype. But even back then when I made a video when they announced the anime here, I was still a bit skeptical, and I'm still a little bit amped, to be honest, because Man, it is hit or miss for a lot of things. But that's enough of the cons, and now I want to talk about the pros of this anime. I think this anime has potential, and especially during the action sequences, because we already saw in episode 2 that there's a lot of potential on what they can do here, and based on the more battle-focused scenes on this manhwa, if they adapt it right, it could turn into something special. Now, hello there, Rikuta. But here's the thing. This is A1 Pictures here. A1 Pictures can make some great battle animations, but it really comes down to how much they're willing to put into it, because sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. And I think a great example is the 7 Deadly Sins, because that is also by A1 Pictures, the same anime studio that's making Solo Leveling's anime. So for those who don't know, A1 Pictures can actually make pretty decent fight sequences. Not as good as Ufotable or what you call it, Mappa by any means, but they do a pretty good job. Like, we've seen the Sword Art Online movies and the 7 Deadly Sin action sequences before season 3, that is, but so we know what they're capable of. It's just a matter of, are they willing to commit to it? Because based on the first 3 episodes that's out, I believe there's potential, but I just don't know, man. Because they're trying to find a fair balance between sticking to the manhwa aesthetics, but at the same time give it like a really good animation to it. But I'm not gonna call the shots on saying whether it's good or bad. All I'm gonna say is it has potential. So if somebody later on, like, so in the future, whatever happens, don't say I was right or I was wrong. I'm just gonna be right at the fence of like just looking at this. But it's just, oh man, I'm kind of mixed. I just think it's okay. If I had to give my overall opinion on this anime adaptation so far, it's fine. but we need to see more of it because we're only 3 episodes in, everybody. 3 to 4 episodes in. I think it's 3, but man, everybody's gonna go. This is A1 Pictures we're talking about. What are they gonna do? Put some more Kirito tropes into this? I pray to God they do not do the A1 Picture tropes. I will fight. I will fight head to toe for A1 Pictures to stay as loyal as possible to this manga source material if they can. But yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about Solo Leveling. Now granted, from what everybody's opinions is about the same as mine's. Actually, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's the best anime ever because I can argue on that, everybody. I would die on that hill. I would not say this is a top 10 for me because I've seen too many animes over my lifetime. But yeah. Now let us jump into the anime season so far for the winter of 2024. So currently these are pretty much animes that are out right now or are coming out this anime season. So let us just watching Solo Leveling is my future plan. Well, Aver, we just had to wait and see what it does. But let us jump into the anime list here for this season because there is a lot here. A lot. So, and after this, we'll talk about some anime news, but I had to go back and look for those articles on Crunchyroll. But let us continue, everybody. Because I'm going to give you my personal... Some people say I have a professional opinion. I do not have professional opinions. I'm very knowledgeable, but I would not consider myself professional because anime is never ending, so you're always going to be learning. But Solo Leveling, we already discussed about this. Classroom of the Elite. This anime here, Classroom of the Elite adaptation this time is lucky because skipping of content of light novel. Interesting, Daizai. I am not trying to hate on Classroom of the Elite, but it has lost a bit of momentum. And the reason why is because this anime took a very long time for season 2. And then and by the time that came around, it's pretty much already lost a lot of momentum. So just to clarify, the first season of Classroom of the Elite came out in 2017. I was still in senior high school. And by the time the second season was announced, I was already graduated from college. It took an extremely long time. And by then, it already lost a lot of momentum. Studio Lerche is actually a very good anime studio for those who, who are not familiar. Because, they actually make pretty good animes. It's just the fact that for some reason, they put Classroom of the Elite on hold for so long to the point where they pretty much lost too much momentum, if I'm being honest here. I'm not saying they're a bad anime studio by any means, because I still do think that one of the best anime adaptations they made is Kino's Journey. Kino's Journey is a masterpiece, by the way, of a light novel, and that light novel came out in like 2000, I believe, or 2003, somewhere in between there. And for them to make an anime adaptation in like 2017 as well, 2016, 2017, somewhere between there, like they modernize it, it looks great. But what I'm saying is that Lerche is a great anime studio, but for some reason they decided to put this on hold to the point where it lost too much momentum. And now, even though there's a fan base on this anime, it isn't as strong. And for me personally, I've actually kind of grown out of this anime because you gotta remember, when the first season of this anime came out, I was still in senior high school. But since I'm a grown-up now, already graduated from college and whatnot, it's like I've grown out of this audience because I'm not in a senior high school anymore. I'm a grown adult. But hey, there are still people who's enjoying this, and I actually like Ayano Koji. I think he's an amazing character. I have not read the light novel, by the way, but he's an amazing character. And for those who are wondering, the artist, the character designer for Classroom of the Elite, Tomose Shunsaku, that artist creates some of the best hentai mangas I've ever read. Period. I actually have some, but that's for me personally, but just my personal opinion though, guys. So yeah, Classroom of the Elite, I've kind of grown out of it. Don't hate me for it. It's just time. Time does this to you. So let us jump into the next topic here. Mashal. Mashal, it's kind of, man, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like in the same popularity place as Dr. Stone. So I think Mashal has potential to be better because the first season I thought was pretty good. Hey, who go figures, right? It's literally Harry Potter with One Punch Man. Like literally, I don't even know what more to compare it to. But I have to be honest though, this is for a Shonen Jump series is not going as strongly as what most people would like it to be. I do think this is a fun watch though. If you just want to like sit back, relax, and have fun watching anime, then Mashal here is definitely one that you should check out. I'm not saying it's gonna lose momentum. I'm just saying that the fan base is very niche in itself, kind of like Dr. Stone. Like if you've been around since it's been around, it's going to be around for you, you know. Now, yeah, let us move on though. So let us talk about Tsukimichi. So Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. I actually love this anime. The light novel though is good. The anime is okay, but I think okay, hear me out. This anime here, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Okay, hear me out. I think the light novel is pretty good. Like it's just enjoyable to read. I'm not gonna say it's one of the best light novels ever. No, it's not. I've read way better light novels without a doubt. But I think what works for this is that it's just a fun series to read, and your main character he's kind of a goofball at times. But I think the anime adaptation, although it isn't terrible because it's JC staff, it's not great either. It's just okay. But I really do suggest reading the light novel because it's just enjoyable to read. And not to mention, he's pretty OP as well. But this anime adaptation is more so of his... That's the thing I think that's the thing about this anime adaptation now that I think about it. When it comes to Tsukimichi's anime, it focuses a lot on, not the world building, but everything. It tries to find a balance. That's what it is. But the light novel itself, it takes everything one step at a time. Like you get a bit of world building, then a bit of character, and then a bit of a character arc, and then a bit of world building. And that's how the light novel works. The anime in itself, although it isn't bad, it really tries to put everything together, but not in a bad way though. Just at its own pace. But Delicious in Dungeon. So I actually like this anime. That's kind of funny. So Delicious in Dungeon is more, man, this is like the fix that I need. It's just like a weekly fun series to watch. I wouldn't even say like, I just love this show, man. It is by Studio Trigger too. That's even better. So Studio Trigger has been gone for a very long time. I discussed this on my last live stream, but to put it simply, Studio Trigger, for those who are not familiar, they have made animes such as Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Kiznaiver, and they work in cooperation with A1 Pictures. They make Darling in the Franxx because that was a co-joint production. So to see to see Studio Trigger come back is an amazing thing. I actually love this anime. It's just it's just fun to watch. God, I don't even know how to put it. You see, I'm struggling. It is on Netflix because Netflix has the licensing rights to it, and the English dub is good too. I highly recommend both the sub and the dub because both of them have their... Oh man, both of them are amazing. I know that people are not the biggest fan of dubs, but English dubs now are really good. I wouldn't say they're perfect by any means, but they're really good now. So it's enjoyable, both sub and dub. So go check it out if you haven't. If you just want to like an enjoyable weekly anime to watch, that is. But hey, this is just... Oh man, I love talking about anime at times because it, like, when you know so much, like you can teach some people some things. So, Mato Seihei no Slave, Chained Soldier. Oh boy, this is the one everybody's talking about. The 18 plus, why isn't this a hentai anime? I just think this anime is fine. I would not necessarily say it's. This is not my cup of tea, guys. If I was probably 13 years of age, maybe, but I'm a grown. I'm a grown man now to where like I don't. That's strange to say. I'm a grown man, so I think the best way to put it is that like I don't really need an anime waifu as much because I can just go get an actual waifu. If you get what I'm saying, but mid. Wow, people are saying it's mid. Look, this show is not for me. Okay, guys, Chain Soldier is not for me. But I want to talk about the Anime Studio 7 arcs. 7 arcs. Okay, here's the thing. 7 arcs is pretty interesting because they dabble into a bunch of animes. So for those who are not familiar, they actually made, I believe they made Tonikawa the anime. Yes, the anime for Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You. They also, see, it's kind of strange to say this, but the anime I know, like, okay, so when it comes to Studio 7 arcs, okay, the one anime I know them for is Sekirei. Sekirei came out 2005, 2006, and I remember, man, I love Sekirei. Watch the uncensored version, by the way. Sekirei is such an amazing series. The manga's ending, though, the ending to the series is pretty bad. I actually think is inconclusive, but seeing 7 arcs make an ecchi anime like this again after Sekirei, like. It's a good welcome back because man, dude, I thought there was they strayed quite a bit from their ecchi style days, but man, I'm not a big fan of Chain Soldier. If you want to see an 18+ anime that is ecchi from 7 arcs' anime studio, I strongly recommend checking out Sekirei because Sekirei is actually, oh, I love the openings too. There's two seasons of Sekirei. The second season is called Sekirei Pure Engagement. And man, I love the main character Minato. He's a pretty cool guy. But that's my go-to harem for 7 arcs animes. But let us continue. A Sign of Affection. I have not yet watched this series yet, but it is romance. Man, I love romance. Romance is actually one of my favorite anime genres, for those who don't know. And although it doesn't seem like it, it is. I love the romance series, like the romance genre, anything romance related. I don't care if it's yuri, yaoi, or whatever. Like I'm straight. Don't get me wrong. I'm straight, but I love the romance genre. There's just that small affection I really love about it. But that's a bit of a secret about me, guys, that you may not have noticed for those who don't know. But hello there, Exotic. But anyhow, though. They Dangerous in My Heart Season 2. So this is kind of strange. I believe, wait, really? I thought it was fantasy. So no, fantasy is not my favorite genre, by the way. Fantasy is not in my cup. I love fantasy, but it's not in my top. It's just up there, though, if you get what I'm saying. But romance is. Romance is probably in my top 3 favorite genres of everything. But that doesn't mean that I slack on every other genre as well, because I'm familiar with pretty much most anime genres to where like I can just watch it casually and not get bored. I know some people will get bored of certain genres, but not for me. Ooh, excuse myself. The Dangerous in My Heart Season 2. I need to finish watching the first season before I continue here, but waifu material though, guys. And it is a rom-com, so god dang. It seems like all of the popular romance series nowadays is rom-coms, but whatever. Blue Exorcist, say no more. Probably my favorite anime this season, period, because it's Blue Exorcist. That's enough said. They did change anime studios though, by the way, for those who don't know. It's by studio Von, because I believe the first season was by was that A1 Pictures that did the first anime season? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain they changed anime studios, though. I'm curious, though. Why romance? And what's your favorite romance anime? Okay, here's the thing. Why romance? The answer is simple. Love. The concept of romance in itself is amazing. I'm a big fan and a very big sucker to the romance genre. As a matter of fact, about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, my bad, So about 12 years ago, when Sword Art Online came out, the reason why I loved it was not because of when Sword Art Online was still new, that is, before it became overrated. Here's the thing. So way back when, the reason why I liked Sword Art Online 12 years ago, when it was still a fresh anime, was not necessarily because of the action sequences or because of the concept. It was really because of Kirito and Asuna's chemistry as a couple. That's one of the reasons why I liked Sword Art Online way back when, and one of the only reasons why I watched it. But now Kirito has a harem, generic schlock. I'm not as intrigued, but I'm a big sucker for stuff. And my favorite romance series. Favorite romance series. I don't really have a favorite romance anime because romance animes, they come and go, but I do have a favorite romance series, but that's kind of personal. So yeah, I'm not gonna say it because if I say it, everybody's gonna be like, huh, interesting. But that'd be for another time though. Okay. I can't remember anything of Blue Exorcist. I don't even think I'll be watching the new season anytime soon. That's fine. Blue Exorcist, it's been a very long time though, because the mangaka, the author for Blue Exorcist, she went on a very long hiatus, so it lost a lot of momentum, but now she's back, so yes, we should be fine. Hokkaido Gyarus. So, Hokkaido Gyarus, this isn't for me, I'll pass, so yeah. The wrong way to use healing magic. So it's kind of funny about this anime here. Okay, so let us talk about this series for a quick second, because I don't want to go too in depth about this. So to put a long story short, this series here, it's okay to me. I have not read the light novel. I just think it's okay. But for some reason, there's like this small fan base here that is very strong and extremely loyal to this anime. Like, I think it was last week actually, after my live stream, sometime after my live stream from last week, I got an email. I was like, yo, you need to talk about this anime here. It's pretty amazing. I was like, are you sure? Because like, I just thought it was okay. And I'm like, so how long you been watching anime? And this individual's like 3 years. I was like, oh, you're still kind of new to anime. That's why you like this series a lot. And then that's fair, honestly. I'm not gonna kick you down for liking stuff like this. I just thought it's okay, but to each their own. Just to show you, though. But that fan base, though, it's small, but it's there. Okay. Jakutara Tomozaki-kun second stage. Oh, sugoi. Second season. That is crazy, man. So, here's the thing. I actually like this light novel a lot. The anime is okay. Yeah, the anime is okay. If this audience here that likes this okay, so allow me to talk about this series. So bottom tier Tomozaki-kun, it's essentially for those people who are losers in senior high school. This light novel is pretty much targeted towards that audience who are still in senior high school. So I read the light novels sometime back. I don't know how long back, 3 years ago? 4 years ago? I don't really remember. A few years ago. I actually like it a lot because the light novel is essentially a manual of like how to not be cringe in your high school years for dummies. Essentially, that's what the light novel is. But if you, no offense, but that's essentially the light novel. It's actually very enjoyable to read, but the anime adaptation, it's okay. But I actually like this anime though, and the light novel. But I stopped reading it though. This is my personal opinion. Don't hate me. I'm not calling you a loser or anyone a loser. I'm just saying, man, it's a very interesting series. The Witch and the Beast. I have not yet watched this, and it's by Yokohama Animation Lab. Huh. I don't remember exactly what they made, but probably got to go search them up later though. Very curious to see them though. Banished from the Hero's Party. This is, oh man, I love Slow Life. Slow Life is actually one of my favorite anime genres as well. And it's kind of funny. I used to hate fantasy slow lives, or slow lives in general. But as I've grown older, I've just come to appreciate them more because, when you're young, a young senior high school student, you really just want to get that adrenaline of like high energy animes and whatnot. But as an adult, you really just want to take it slow, man. Just enjoy the small moments. And I've totally grown to actually appreciate the slow life genres, such as Tanaka-kun. Tanaka-kun is always listless. But yeah, this one I enjoy. And oh boy, Gushing Over Magical Girls, another ecchi, why is this not hentai anime? This is not for me. Like, I've seen the first episode, and I'll say it right now, this is not for me, man. If I really want to see hentai, I'll just go read it. So, I don't have anything against this type of anime, because there's always a niche for somebody out there who wants to watch anime, and for me personally, I think it's okay, but I mean, it's okay, but it's not my cup of tea, if you get what I'm saying. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to watch this, nor am I caught up with this. I only watched one episode, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And hear me out, I could just go read hentai if I feel like it. So, I still said that I will talk about read it. Read this, or are you talking about reading this series here, Gushing Over Magical Girls, or are you saying go read hentai manga? Because I was thinking, because at some point I really would like to talk about hentai, but then again though, I don't want to be held responsible if like a 12-year-old kid stumbles into a live stream and then he just gets enlightened by the overflowing information of hentai, because then that oh boy, that is not going to look too good. Like, it's crazy. Oh man, I need to. Okay, somebody reminded me, guys. After we finish talking about this anime season, this winter 2024 anime season, remind me to talk about hentai if you're interested. I will enlighten you on my personal opinions on why I'm not the biggest fan of hentai anime adaptations and whatnot, because I'm gonna open your third eye, and I'm planning to enlighten you guys on why it's pretty bad, on why I don't really like anime hentai adaptations. But yeah, the instant death ability. So this anime here, I actually talked about it here on my channel, and oh boy, somebody was like, how come you haven't talked about the anime yet? And here's the thing, I honestly think this anime is a bit underwhelming. There is no, like, this is not me being mean. This is literally just another overpowered isekai fantasy series. The isekai genre at this point is so saturated, it's very hard for any isekai to stick out unless it's like one of a kind or has something going for it. Because to be fair though, if we break this down, the only true difference between this anime here and every other typical isekai anime is that this guy's ability is pretty much one-hit KOs anything. But if we take that factor away, this whole anime, this whole series in itself is pretty much your standard generic isekai overpowered fantasy series. Debate me on that, but I'm not overly wrong here. Have you watched fan service anime? You gotta be more specific by that. What do you mean by fan service animes? Like animes that caters towards the fan service, like plots and whatnot, or like fan service anime as in like fans made anime, if you get what I'm saying. If you're more specific, I can enlighten you on my personal opinion on that. I've gotten so addicted to isekai, I've watched all the major okay isekai. I can't find anything good to watch anymore, so I moved to webtoon isekai. It's so freaking good. Well, oh man, okay, Exartic, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on webtoons, aka manhwa, dongwas, and those type of isekais. I am not the biggest fan of webtoon isekais. And hear me out. This is there's a reason why, but I think I've come to this conclusion about 6.5 years ago. So allow me to explain why I'm not the biggest fan of isekai webtoons. It suffers from villains and characters. Like and this isn't the characters and the villains doesn't make sense to me for most webtoon isekais. And it's not the beginning or the middle, but it's usually towards the ending. Because, like, I don't know how to put it. See, it ties back to what I stated earlier about manhwas and online webtoons. They don't know how to conclude a series. If somebody has a manhwa that has a good ending or a webtoon that has a good conclusion, I'll be satisfied, but that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to go into depth about it because, man, it's kind of confusing. Fan service. I know what fan service is, John. I just don't know which of the two you're referring to. It's like asking about FPS, frames per second, or first-person shooters. That's what I mean by fan service, but I get what you're coming from. So, I don't mind fan service animes at all. It's just the fact that like, what is it that I'm wanting from the series? I feel like if it offers too much fan service, it's just fan service in itself. But if it's a decent anime that has fan service dabbled in here and there, then I think that's fine. But fan service in itself shouldn't be the entire plot of your anime, unless your plot revolves around the fan service. So, like, to me, Magic, like this here and Chain Soldier, they already have their own unique plots. They don't need extreme amounts of fan service, if you get what I'm saying. But it's just not for me though. So hey, to each their own. Okay, skip here. I've not seen these. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. I will read this, and I will actually watch this anime at some point. Just not today. Okay, what else have I seen that I really want to talk about? The Weakest Tamer is okay, but I don't really have much to say about this. This feels like a very soft version of what you call it? A Sentence of a Bookworm, sort of. I need to finish watching that, the latest season that I missed, because I'm not caught up to it. Oh, excuse myself. Everything else, that's pretty much all I've seen, I guess. So that's essentially this anime season and my personal opinions so far. A very good anime season, but very early, well, a bit too early to discuss about some of this stuff, man, because, man, it is still early on in the season. No biases, though, by any means. Just my personal opinions. If you like these shows that I don't like, that's fine. Because there's no point of kicking people for their taste. Like, because everybody has unique tastes, so to each their own. Now, where was I when I said about what to discuss after this? Hentai? Oh boy. Okay. I don't know exactly how long I'm going to go on this rant about hentai, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion, though. I am not a big fan of hentai anime. Yeah, I said it. It is... Hello there, Marco. We just finished up wrapping up talking about the anime season, but now we're talking about hentai, so... Here's the thing. When it comes to anime hentai, the reason why I don't really like watching it is because, for those who don't know, sometimes one guy or two guys or maybe a group of guys will voice all the characters, even the women. Yeah. So your bubble is burst. So if you hear an anime girl moaning in a hentai, that's most likely probably a dude. Like, actually a dude. I don't think people will believe me when I say that, but that is true. Even the most woman of woman voices will sometimes be voiced by a guy. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of strange. Yeah. This is true. You need to admit this now. If you don't admit this, you're sipping on copium. So yeah, that's kind of strange. And unless you can actually afford an actual female seiyuu or an adult female actress to voice a hentai anime, most of the times it's a guy voicing a female. Like a guy voicing a female moaning in a hentai anime. So that's not for me. So this is, and also the anime studios that make these hentai animes is pretty badly animated. So I don't mess with hentai anime at all. So I only focus on reading hentai manga, by the way. So yeah, I read hentai manga, but I do not, for the love of my life, watch hentai. My favorite art styles is Yoshiaki Katsurai, who else? Unonya, Tomose Shunsaku. Who else do I like for my favorite hentai manga artists? Pochigoya. Pochigoya has amazing art style. If you like Shotacons, that is, because for some odd reason, Pochigoya only does Shotacon. Not for me though. I like Pochigoya's art style, but the hentai itself, not for me though. But if you're talking about what is my favorite hentai genre, without a doubt, romance. I love romance, vanilla hentai manga. Period. Especially certain series. I think one of my favorite hentai mangas. Okay, one of my favorite one-chapter hentai mangas of all time. Just a one-off 19 to 20 page hentai manga. One-off, that is Futatabi no Koisu, Love Again. Because if I can relate to that hentai manga, then I actually like it even more because I can relate to it. And like, I know that feeling. So, or I knew somebody who knows that feeling. So for me, I connect to those better than other stuff. Hentai mangas are way too good. It feels like no more drawings are enough for their true ballistic potential. Black Bible. Okay, Black Bible is a meme. Black Bible is a meme. The anime is a meme. But the manga is actually not that... Oh god. I cannot believe I'm saying this. The manga for Black Bible is actually not that bad for its time. For its time, it was not that bad. But now it's outdated. But, oh man. Black Bible's anime is pretty bad. Like, I would admit that. But the manga is not that bad for its time. Like, looking back on it now, the Black Bible manga is pure trash. But like, if you look at it back in the day, like 14 years ago, it was considered pretty solid. Can't remember the artist's name, but have you read Twin Moms and the other works by that artist? You gotta be more specific. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Twin Moms. They're so good at expression. So, I don't know, I forgot the author's name, but Twin Moms is essentially, for those who don't know, that is a hentai manga to where a mom and her son. Okay, so it's not focused on the mom, it's focused on the son. The son actually lies, saying he's going somewhere, but in reality, he's going to his aunt's house to essentially bang his aunt, and his aunt is essentially his mom's twin sister. Essentially, I think that's the one Exotic is talking about here. I know the manga you're talking about. I forgot the artist's name. That I'm being honest. If that's the one you're talking about, that one's not for me. It's just not my cup of tea. Like, I like the romance side. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Alabama genre. So, but I think that's the one you're talking about, Exotic. It's kind of funny because it turns out he accidentally banged his mom. Okay, this is an 18+ live stream now. But that's the disclaimer. The one with the married woman and and the sister. Give me a second, look it up. Don't look it up, man. Look, I please don't. I don't want people to be don't post it on this live stream because I don't want this video getting taken down because of somebody. Like, I don't want a 13-year-old kid stumbling into my live stream and then they get recommendations of hentai. I know we're talking about hentai, but please don't try to encourage it because I don't want to be held responsible here for somebody's phase, if you get what I'm saying. Please. God, people cut me some slack. Cut me some slack, okay, guys? Because this is an 18+ topic here. But yeah. Angel Blade, the VA is Matsuko Katsuki, aka Tsunade. Yeah, but that's very rare though, Marco. You have to understand, when it comes to voice actresses and adult video animes, aka hentai animes, they very few of them come in. Like, very few of them. Because although now the anime industry, when it comes to hentai, can somewhat afford voice actresses, you have to understand though, anything like anything 2015, 14-ish downwards, most of the times you have a guy voicing the woman. Very rarely do you have actual voice actresses themselves. So please understand where I'm coming from. So so this is why my grain of salt is very grain of salt, because I fear that people are coming into hentai without no knowledge. But I will enlighten you guys though. But yeah, though, guys, I'm not really the biggest. So my favorite hentai genres, without a doubt, is vanilla and romance. I know, very simple, but I'm not really the biggest fan of like anything other than that, because I feel like it's really so. It rolls my eyes. Like, I roll my eyes of how ridiculous it is when it comes to reading most hentai mangas. But in terms of hentai mangas though, guys, please go support Yoshiaki Katsurai, Udonya, who else? Tomose Shunsaku. Because if you watch Classroom of the Elite up here, Classroom of the Elite, yes, Tomose Shunsaku is the character designer for these characters here. And man, Tomose Shunsaku creates some of the best hentais. Like, really good hentai manga. 10 out of 10 quality. Like, I'm not even kidding. Some of your favorite anime character designers are actually hentai artists, and you just don't know it. I promise you guys that. So, if you guys have not read Tomose Shunsaku's works, please go support them, because they do release their own doujin books at times, and if you can, please go buy it, whether it's digitally or physically, if you can get a copy, that is. And follow them on Twitter, because that's where they announce their stuff, by the way. Because their Twitter is where they announce a bunch of their stuff, and they show a bunch of 18+ artworks, if you're into that, that is. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. And if you like the more, I guess, rough hentais, I guess, not the rough, but more, I don't know, rough in bed type of hentais, then probably go check out something like Inokido. Inokido has some great artwork as well. If you're like into, I don't know, intimidating looking girls, I guess, then really check out Inokido. I personally am not the biggest fan of Inokido. I just like the art style, but not necessarily the plot of it. And if you like, I don't know, girls being thoughts, I guess, probably check out Mizu UK, because Mizu UK really just illustrates a bunch of, I don't know, stuff. 18+ stuff of like thoughts being thoughts. It's crazy, man. I can literally discuss about hentai all day. Oh, you're talking about what you call it, Metamorphosis. That's the hentai you're talking about. Everybody knows Metamorphosis, and honestly, it's sad to say this, but Metamorphosis to me is not a mean hentai manga. I know people like to joke on it, but it is such a sad hentai manga, without a doubt. But it has a happy ending, though. But for those who don't know, Metamorphosis is essentially what happens. Man, I feel like, man, people overlook that hentai, actually. I honestly think Metamorphosis is a one-of-a-kind hentai manga. I think it's a masterpiece, actually, of a manga for what it does. It has such a powerful message, but it gets overlooked because people keep making memes on it. And it hurts to say that because I know somebody like that main character in that manga. And it's just sad because, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm relating too much. Like, I'm self-projecting here, but I really do think that Metamorphosis is a very unique hentai manga with a very powerful message. Like, it is essentially a self-reflection. That's the best way to put it. And that's what I'm going to say about that hentai manga, because, man, it's truly something. It is truly something. Like, even, like if you can afford it, please buy it, because I did, whether it's the digital version. I think there was a digital version for sale at some point. Or was there not? I don't remember. I think I actually bought a digital version on it. It's on my old PC, not on this one though. But very, very powerful story though. One of my favorites to read if I just want to feel heartstrings being pulled in a sad way. It's a hentai manga that's literally pulls just everyone I heard about talks that they can't beat it. But just read it as any other manga. Man, there are some actual masterpiece hentai mangas out there. But my favorite ones are the ones that I can relate to, or the ones that tell an actual good story. Metamorphosis is one of those that does both. I know somebody and I can relate to them, to that, like, I can actually relate to somebody, to that main character in Metamorphosis. And two, it has an actual great story. The art style is a bit wonky at times, but that's not what we're talking about here. It's truly something. Like, in terms of storytelling, it's one of the best hentai manga storytellings I've ever read. Because most hentai mangas that you read don't have actual plot. Or if it does have a plot, it's usually involved. Like, see, here's the thing. Hentai manga plots are pretty bad because it usually just revolves around banging somebody. And that's honestly, like, kind of boring to me. But the ones that I like are the ones that either have a powerful message, ones I can relate to, and whatnot. It has, man, just go read it. Just go read it. God dang it. I don't, like, please, just go read it, because it's a good story. But anyhow, though, if you're wondering what other, there's very few hentai mangas I like, but some of them do have actual good stories though. So, like, or something bittersweet that tugs at the heart in terms of romance that I like. Most hentai can be read without reading a single word. Lol. Oh my god. How truer is that? This man Exartic here in our chat. That's most hentai can be read without even reading a single word. This is the problem with hentai nowadays. It's more than just artwork here, guys. I want a story here. Like, oh man. Okay, hold up. Give me a second here. Okay, hold up. Okay, we're back. But, like, it's just crazy, yo. I still do have some of my hentai here on this PC somewhere. I just need to go find it. I have a lot of hentai I read, actually. But all of them are the romance genres, though. Hold up. Where is it? Okay, so okay, I'm not finding the ones I like. I'm finding Maru's works. Yes, I read Maru hentai manga. Maru, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Maru has some great art style. Like, I really love. See, here's the thing about so for those who don't know, Maru is actually a manga artist and a manga writer that writes hentai mangas and whatnot. And Maru's main focus and his plot lines is essentially two co-workers becoming a couple and getting intimate. But hear me out. It sounds a bit generic, yes, but I can relate to that. So it's honestly the reason why I like Maru a lot. And the art style, it's pretty solid. Like that's all I can say. But I do have some I don't know. I didn't really prepare to make a hentai discussion live stream here. It was more so just talking about whatever goes for this live stream. But I have read a lot of hentai manga, a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones. So I think I've been reading hentai mangas for about 12 years now. So anything 2012 and up, like that is a manga that came out, I've pretty much already read. Both doujins and originals, by the way, guys. So for those who don't know, doujins are essentially fan-made hentai mangas of popular anime, such as, for example, like Tokyo Ghoul doujins. Those are just like Tokyo Ghoul fan-made hentai mangas, for example, or fan-made hentais. Those are considered doujins. Originals are essentially just original hentai manga stories. Just to clarify, so for those who are not familiar with like the hentai genre, that's just a bit of a small lesson 101. But really the reason why hentai manga in the hentai format didn't really take off for a very long time was because hentai anime and hentai manga as a format was very, very, very hard to get a hold of. And allow me to explain why. Here's the thing. The only way you were getting hentai stuff is not through the internet, because the internet was a terrible way to get it. The only way you could have gotten it back then was to literally attend a convention, a con. So Sakura Con, for example, or any sort of Comic-It or something. Because that's when hentai manga artists and doujin creators, like doujin artists as well, that's where they'll be selling their works, and that was where you essentially had to go get your hentai material, and you pretty much had to pray to God that oh, my internet is looking pretty bad. What the heck? And then we're back. But then you essentially had to pray to God that somebody posted it on the internet. And when they did post it on the internet, you had to read it in Japanese because nobody was translating this stuff. I'm telling you guys, if it was not Black Bible, no, if this was not Black Bible, nobody was translating it. Or if it wasn't Kuroinu, not the hentai anime Kuroinu, but the game. It was originally a game, the visual novel that is. Then you wasn't really getting any English translations at all, and the fan translations were bad. It was bad. Oh my god. You were literally reading text through speech almost. Like, you had a better chance reading that or reading some of the Google Translate. But hentai manga has become more accessible now, but only through pirating, it seems. It's kind of sad, but the good news is that a bunch of the hentai manga artists that you like have Twitter accounts now, so you can actually pretty much buy you can pretty much support them on Twitter because they have some stuff links on their Twitter accounts to where you can actually buy their stuff. And sometimes it's translated and sometimes it's not. But if it's not, then you can ask somebody to translate it for you. So, and the funny thing is that hentai mangas are written in a way to where it's not super clean. Because you have to remember, this is grammar that is written by an artist, not written by a writer. So reading their stuff is not that difficult because you're going to see a bunch of there is kanji in it, but there's also a bunch of hiragana, and katakana for the most. But so you essentially can read Like, you won't be able to read all of it, obviously, but like, if you want to get into Japanese, hentai manga Japanese is not that hard. If you think about it. If you think about it, because it's just like any other manga, except it's not written very well, because there's no editor going over it most of the times. But now there is editors, but even then, still a great way to start reading Japanese though. But yeah, though, if you have a favorite manga, hentai manga artist, please go support them on Twitter, because you can actually buy their stuff online. Like, you can legally sometimes download their stuff that they have for sale, whether it's on through their Pixiv, their Patreon, or sometimes I forgot what that website was called, but that is essentially where you can start reading your stuff. That's where I get most of my stuff, by the way. Yeah, interesting, I know. I get scared. I might pick up some funny vocabulary and use in the wrong context. Exartic, I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay, this is very, very, very common. People screw this up all the time. They use Japanese words wrong. Yeah, no, it's wrong. Like, people use Japanese wrong all the time. I'm going to call out some people, but if you're using a Japanese name and you're not Japanese and you don't know the context of it, please understand how to use it. I made a video, a voice acting video on Japanese vocabulary and languages about 2 to 3 days back. Please go check out that video. It only has like 30 views, but it essentially encapsulates the problem of people using Japanese names on their YouTube or Google account. Like, oh my god. It frustrates me. It frustrates me. That's wrong. Just, like, I wish people would be more straightforward, because, for example, in that video, in that video, here's what I said. For now on, my name is going to be Sato. You know that means sugar, right? Like, in anime characters are named Sato and whatnot, but the context on how you're using it sounds like sugar. And like, people, oh my god, people are so bad, man. People are so bad at using Japanese at times. And look, if you have a Japanese username on your YouTube account and whatnot, I don't really mind it, but please understand that you kind of have to understand how to use it, because, oh boy. Example, Shiro. Yeah, my name is gonna be Shiro. I use that in the video as well, because those are the two common names I see: Sato and Shiro. Shiro, depending, does not mean white. People can say, "Oh, Shiro desu ne." It's white, but if you depend on how you say it in the context, Shiro can also be short for castle on onyomi context. Like, people, seriously, why? Why? Oh god, you're making me sad. Gomenasai, boku no nihongo wa jouzu janai. Sorry. My Japanese is bad, okay, guys? Understand where I'm coming from. Like, oh man. It is. That's so funny. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, man. Like, that's so funny. I feel like people need to understand how to use basic Japanese. Like, just, like, you don't need to be a master at Japanese to use Japanese names on your Google account or YouTube account. You need to understand just the basics. Like, just the basics, man. Like, boku wa kihon teku na koto shika shiranai. Like, please. Sorry, I stutter a bit, because like, it's just frustrating to me, man. Please, like, I don't have a problem if people want to use Japanese. It only becomes a problem if you're using the wrong context. Like, my head, it's pretty sad. I am not good in Japanese, by the way, guys. My Japanese has been washed away by other languages. So, such as my in-laws bringing in some other languages, and the fact that I grew up in America, English pretty much replaced all my other languages. So, like, my Japanese is not bad, but it's not good either. It's basic. Like, I can speak basic Japanese. Just write it katakana. Boy, I will not write that in just katakana because what if it has to be a kunyomi or onyomi form? Like, and then you write it down, and then you be like, "What's the kanji? What's the context?" Oh God, man. Oh. I think people need to understand that. You can write it down in hiragana or katakana on how it's pronounced, like, but you also need to understand this. You need the kanji as well, to some extent, because if you don't have the kanji, you're not going to know exactly what you're talking about. Like sato. Like, are you saying sugar or somebody's name? And if you are using somebody's name, what is the kanji behind it and what's the context behind their name? Because, man, I'm stuttering a lot, guys, because it's frustrating to me. 2 more days until Clifford Chapman and Bryn April's birthday. Oh, wow. Clifford Chapman? Hey, we're talking about voice actors. Sorry, guys. Okay, hold up. See, I get sidetracked so much, but I'm not going to make a stream talking about teaching Japanese, because here's the thing. Even Japanese people will forget Japanese if it's not being utilized. Let me say that again. People will only know what they know. Japanese has so much vocabulary, just like English does, that they only know what they know. Like, they don't know. Okay, here's the best way to put it. Not even Japanese people themselves know all the kanji. I'd say most of them will know about 1,000 to 2,000, maybe 4,000-ish, somewhere between there. So we say 1,000 to 4,000 kanjis. Well, let's just say 4,000 to be safe. But they're not going to know every single one of them. Like, they only know what they know. This is kind of the confusing thing. Even if they use it in their vocabulary, when it comes time for them to write it down, or for them to actually answer what the kanji in itself means, whether it's kunyomi or onyomi form, they're not going to understand it as much. Because, like, it's kind of like this. Saying a word and then writing down the word itself on how it's spelled and what it means. They're kind of different, you get what I'm saying. Itai means ouch. Sorry. That is, oh God. That is so, man. Itai means ouch. That's like somebody saying abunai. Like, oh my God, it's dangerous. No, man, come on now. Or like, sorry. It's funny. It's funny when people use phrases and verbs and stuff. Yeah. Itai means ouch. Yeah, man. Just use, like, if you don't know Japanese, just use a bunch of phrases, and then eventually your Japanese will just stick. That'd be the most goofiest way. But yeah, though, guys, I think that's enough for Japanese for today. I don't want to go into a 5-hour lecture of teaching you guys how to speak Japanese. Go inside. But yeah, though, guys, anybody can learn the basics of Japanese. I think you just need to learn the context behind it. So that way, when somebody uses a Japanese name, when they're not Japanese, it doesn't come off as either cringe or kind of confusing. Because my goodness, you'll see it a lot as time goes on. Like on YouTube, people will use Japanese names not knowing what it means or using it in the wrong context. So somebody might use a name they think is cool, but in reality, it comes off as either very strange or very too literal. Like heart. Like if somebody used the literal context of heart, it's going to be kind of strange, if you get what I'm saying. Like kokoro is heart, obviously, but depending, like, if you get for example, if you started to use like actual Japanese in your Google username or YouTube name, and you use the literal word for heart, it's gonna be strange, man. Like, really strange, because you're using the name figuratively, not literally, and yet your username is literal. So it's kind of like, whoa, awkward. Sorry. And then you're like, oh god, I gotta forget this. Like, I gotta forget that this happened so I don't be cringe. Oh no, I'm gonna forget. Oh man. Yeah, but that does happen though. But I don't really hate on people who accidentally use Japanese in the wrong context. It's just because they don't know better. Like, even those who are practicing and learning Japanese, even me at times, I use it pretty poorly because I don't know better. But I really hope that like, people can actually study Japanese whenever they can. And when I say study Japanese, I'm not saying that you have to learn the entire vocabulary, but just learn what you're using and what you're saying. So that way it doesn't come off as either strange or it doesn't come off as weird. Because, like, the last thing you really want to do is to put yourself in a situation to where like not where it's awkward, but where, like, it comes off wrong, if you get what I'm saying. Because you don't want people to get offended, or, like, you just don't want it to come off that way. Because Japanese people they're very subtle people. Very subtle. So like, I don't know how to explain it. What they say is not what they mean when you're speaking Japanese. Just put it that way. You have to actually understand where I'm coming from. They speak it in parts, and you're essentially getting little pieces of what they're trying to convey, and you just kind of had to catch on like this. If you cannot like, it's like decoding what they're saying. The more familiar with the vocabulary, the more it just starts slipping out. I don't know if you mean that in a good way or a bad way, but I see where you're coming from, though. But either way, though, guys, I think Japanese is too much of, like, excuse myself. I think it's too much of a language that everybody wants to learn. It seems like everybody wants to learn an Asian language nowadays. This is crazy, man. Like, don't get me wrong, Japanese is cool, but it's very, very, very difficult. Like, extremely difficult. There's no one right way to learn it. You need to find a way that makes it work for you. For me, I'm not going to say too much because people are going to pick on me. I don't want to get bullied by my given name. I refuse to. But, man, I'm getting kind of tired. Boku wa tsukurete iru. Like, I am... Oh, yeah, I'm getting a bit tired, though. But, sorry, guys. I know I'm speaking a bit too fast, but it's been a long day. But I'm not going to end it just yet, though. But, yeah, everybody should practice a bit of Japanese if they're going to use it in their usernames and whatnot. So it doesn't come off as cringe. Sorry. And yeah, that's enough about that. Sorry guys, I took a bit of a pause because I need a breather. I'm getting kind of tired though. I might go to sleep and eat some ice cream. I know, right? Isn't that just crazy? We just talked about and that's kind of crazy. We went from talking about anime to hentai and then to Japanese. I'm not your Japanese teacher. Go practice Japanese. Even I forget Japanese myself, so I have a textbook right here, guys. It's kind of funny though. Hold up, let me show you guys. See, even I'll forget Japanese. I need my textbook here as well at times, just to remember the basics on some things, because like things can hit the fan. So when a Japanese person approaches me, I'm like, "Gomenasai, Nihongo warui desu." that's gonna be most most people when they first start speaking Japanese. Like, watashi wa nihongo warui desu. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But for me, I'm gonna just be like, oh, I'm sorry, my Japanese is bad. I don't speak Japanese. I speak English. That's just me though, guys. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't speak Japanese. I speak English. Gomenasai. I forgot. Can't you just forget it? How can you forget it? Well, here's the reason why I do forget it, is because there's a lot of Japanese, for God's sake. Like, I just want to reach a level where I can abandon the English side of the internet and invade the Japanese people. I don't know why that sounds so offensive. That sounds kind of offensive, man. Are you... I think you said that as like, you just want to go hang out with the Japanese people, but... Man, I don't think you understand what the Japanese people on the internet are like normal people here. Like, it can be a bit hectic, especially on Twitter. Like, I don't know if you ever seen Japanese people on Twitter, but my God, they are like here in America on Twitter. But it is potent, extremely potent. So for those who don't know, in Japan, one of the biggest social media platforms, believe it or not, is Twitter. Every Japanese person has a Twitter. So if you don't have a Twitter and you want to start focusing on the Japanese side of things, I think in terms of social media presence wise, that is, I think Twitter is like the place to kind of start. But I'm just gonna tell you though, it can be a bit much when you're dealing with situations like that, because they will block you in a second. I don't know. See, the thing about Japanese people on Twitter is that, from my experience, is that if they don't like you, they're not gonna argue with you at all because they're polite. That's kind of like their way of saying it. They will just outright just block you on Twitter, and you will not even know that you're blocked. I want to watch but can't understand. Here's my advice. If you're trying to just understand the basics of what they're saying, you don't need to understand all of it. Even I don't understand all of it. You need to catch on to certain phrases that is common in Japan, and then focus on certain vocabulary words that you can identify. Like, for example, like soccer or something, football. If they're saying kicking, like kete or something like that, like, or kicking the ball or something, like those, there's like identifying words that you can point out in a sentence, and then you can slowly over time start developing not necessarily what they're saying one-on-one, but sort of understanding what they're getting at. And that's like the best way to approach Japanese if you're trying to just like absorb it, because you're not going to understand every single vocabulary word on the spot, not even within 1 year. Like, I'd say it will take 3 to 4 years for you to get a good basic idea of it. But it really does take time though to get into a basic understanding of Japanese. You don't need good Japanese to live in Japan. You just need to understand the basics. And then when it comes to sentence structure and whatnot, if like, since you want to focus on like manga and related content on YouTube that's Japanese, really, so I can sometimes watch some videos with Motoken Kiwa, even though I have like 2,000 plus words right now. Here's the thing. Of those 2,000 words, how many of those are you familiar with? Because, just in my personal opinion, I don't think the amount of how many you know is determined by how many numbers. Like, you can know 1,000 words, 2,000 words and whatnot, but if you don't understand how it's used or how it's correctly put into a sentence or into sentence structure, it really doesn't help. If you get what I'm saying. Because, like, This is the thing that makes Japanese kind of confusing and very difficult. It's not necessarily it is the words, don't get me wrong, but it's sentence structure. Oh god, I hate that, man. That ruins Japanese for everybody, and they all give up. I voted at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards website. I have yet to vote on that, but oh my god, we should vote right now. Okay, I'll vote in a little bit, but I'm kind of tired though, so I'm going to save that to the last second. Just to enjoy myself though. But like, you kind of had... Okay, let's end this here, guys, when it comes to Japanese. How much can you forget? Not on how much, because like, instead of focusing on how much can you remember, how much can you forget of Japanese? That's going to be like the real question you should ask yourself. Like, was it red ramen I know Shoka? Wait, see, my tongue's twisting up. Was it red ramen I know Shoka? Like, how many can you forget? Because my Japanese is bad. I can speak basic Japanese, but I can't speak fluent Japanese. Yeah, my Japanese is slipping, guys. I'm speaking too much English. Maybe I should do a stream where I just speak straight up Japanese. That'd be kind of funny, actually. Like, because maybe we gotta dabble into other languages. Because, like, I'm Asian. I can speak multiple languages. Je peux parler Wait. How do you speak French again? Dang, I forgot how to speak French, guys. See, even I'm forgetting. Like, everything's slipping out of my head, guys. Je peux... French. Je peux parler... I don't know. I'll study French again. French has gotten out of my head, though. But, yeah. Vous parlez donc français. La français est la langue de l'amour. I do reviews every night to make sure I don't forget. That's cool. Just make sure you use it right, though. But, hold up. Let's do... I really gotta do this, man. We're gonna vote for the anime awards right now, so... Let's... Hold up. Alright, guys, we're here. Hold up. Anime awards. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote till January 27th. Want to really help your favorites every day? Resubmit your ballot with one click after 12 AM PT until January 27th at 11:59 PM PT. Log in to start voting or resubmit your last ballot. Okay, here we go. Anime of the year. Oh man, these are really good already. Okay, hold up. Alright guys, let us start voting on these actually. Anime of the year. I think Demon Slayer is good, but it lost a bit of momentum. Vinland Saga, I don't think people watch this because it's a farm arc, but it is an amazing character arc. I actually like this a lot. Bocchi the Rock is a fun series, but it wouldn't be my anime of the year. Oshinoko is way too overrated, man. I could talk about Oshinoko all day, but I'm not, because I already did a very long time ago. But actually, I will talk about Oshinoko. I'm going to talk about this anime here after this. After we get done voting. Chainsaw Man is good, but I'm going to choose Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is amazing, period. Sorry, guys. I got to choose this one. Have you caught up? Are you talking about the anime or for what, Exartic? What series are you talking about here? And, okay, hold up. It's asking for my email address. Hold up. Okay, there it goes. We're back. Okay, it was asking for some personal information, but all right, what's next? Yeah, I'm caught up to One Piece already, believe it or not. One Piece is amazing. The manga is, I don't want to spoil the manga because the anime just got to the Egghead Island arc, so we'll discuss that another time. Best continuing series: Attack on Titan, probably this one here, maybe. Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe that too. Demon Slayer, One Piece, Vinland Saga, and Spy Family. Okay, hear me out, guys. I love Spy Family, but if you compare to these here, it's so unfair. Come on now. No offense, Spy Family. I love you, Spy Family, but I would not put you up here. Vinland Saga is getting overshadowed by all of these here. One Piece is also a bit unfair because, hear me out, I love One Piece a lot, but One Piece is on the list every year. So, especially for this category, so it's not fair, guys. So, look, I love Spy Family, guys, but I just can't put it with these three here. I think with these three here is literally next level of, like, anime. I'll probably give it to Attack on Titan, to be fair, because this is pretty much the like the conclusional stuff. I'm gonna give it to Attack on Titan for now. But who knows? I might regret later. Best new series. Oh man. Okay, here. Okay. There's only 3 here that I really want to focus. Okay, so best new series. This really depends on these 3 animes here. Zom 100, Chainsaw Man, and Oshinoko for me personally. But all these animes are pretty good. Hell's Paradise manga is god tier, my personal opinion. But let us talk about these 3. Attack on Titan is overrated. I actually do agree with that, actually. I do think Attack on Titan is overrated. But I feel like overrated has been used in such a wrong context to the point where people think that overrated is bad. Overrated... Okay, let us talk about something real quick about overrated stuff. In my personal opinion, overrated series or anything overrated is not bad. It just means that it's just overly popular. But for some reason, when you say something's overrated, people will say that you're saying it in a bad context. And I don't know where the internet gets that context from anymore. But I do think that Attack on Titan is overrated, but I don't think it's bad. It can be overrated and still be good. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with Attack on Titan being overrated. But hey, but people really do be getting mad for no reason when you say things are overrated. What happens to anime fans nowadays? I'm gonna choose Chainsaw Man. For now, I'm gonna choose Chainsaw Man for this category. I might change it later though, once I get my next vote to oh wait, today's the last day, damn it, but probably get another vote in later. Best film. Okay, I don't know if anybody watched any of these movies here. But of all these movies, I actually like the first Slam Dunk. This is a 3D CGI anime with 2D in it as well. But this anime movie goes hard if you like basketball animes. This is my pick, but god dang. This is my pick. I'm sorry. I know that people don't watch basketball anime. This is better than Kurosuke no Basket. Hot take, fight me. I would die on that hill. Slam Dunk is like the more cooler version of it. I'm gonna choose the first Slam Dunk for best movie. I voted Suzume. Suzume is actually a good movie, but the reveal of the plot itself doesn't happen till it doesn't happen till pretty much late in the movie. And look, Suzume is a good movie, but it's a slow burn until you reach that point of where it explains the plot itself. Because everything is told to this girl's point of view. So you don't know exactly what this guy is doing when he has the ability to open doors and whatnot. And once he reveals himself, you'll be like, oh wow, it's pretty cool. But I really do like Suzume. Go check out all of these movies. They're pretty solid. But yeah, let us continue though. Best original anime. Oh man. You're not gonna vote for Black Clover movie. No, I'm not. Delinquent playing basketball. That is essential. Oh man, you see, somebody gets it. That is essentially what we're talking about here. Delinquents playing basketball. That is the first slam dunk. Fight me. That is like the cool. That's like the cooler version. But yeah. The best original anime. I have not watched any of these series here, but man. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay. Akiba Maid War is the one we're choosing. But look, Eeny, meeny, miny, mo works because I haven't seen any of these. Best animation. This one is too easy. Okay. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has some of the best action sequences we had in a very long time. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Swordsmith Village arc has great animation, but none of their action sequences are on the same level in terms of animation style in comparison to Jujutsu Kaisen. If you get what I'm saying. So these two here have great animations in their animes, including Chainsaw Man as well, but the biggest difference is that when it comes to the action sequences, Jujutsu Kaisen stands. It blows everything out of the water. So yeah, I have to choose Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Best character design. Okay. I'm gonna be biased when I say this, but if we're solely talking about character designs, these three here are not on my list. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has great animations, but their character designs are not, like, they're not stick out to me. So, I really wouldn't know. Personally, I would choose Oshinoko on overall character designs, maybe. No, I take that back. I take that back. Either Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, or probably Trigun. One of these three. I gotta choose one of these three, but which one do we choose? Huh. Okay, let's think of it this way. Overall characters. If we put it down overall characters, not just the main character, but overall characters. Probably Demon Slayer. To be fair, I'm going to give this one to Demon Slayer, guys. I feel like Demon Slayer has more unique character designs. Like, if I see Nezuko or Mitsuri or Tanjiro, or I forgot what this guy's name is, the Mist Breather dude. If I see these characters, I will immediately know that is Demon Slayer. Because the art style is very unique, and these character designs are very one of a kind. So, Demon Slayer is going to take my best character design choice. Best director. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Daisuke Hiramaki, Hirotaka Mori, Keiichiro Saito, Ryu Nakayama, Shota Goshizono, Yuichiro Hayashi. Okay. I'm gonna choose Yuichiro Hayashi. I feel like the directing for this okay, hear me out. When it comes to directing this finale, I think it's one of a kind. Like you couldn't get it any better than this. These other series here are good, but hear me out. These series here are not yet completed yet. They're still ongoing animes, and these directors can maybe screw up in the later seasons. So I wouldn't really know, but The way Yuichiro Hayashi concluded Attack on Titan and his directing to end it, very solid. I'm gonna give it to Attack on Titan. Oh, okay. Best cinematography. Okay, this is gonna be a very interesting one. Cinematography. Huh. I'm gonna give this one to Jujutsu Kaisen, man. Look, hear me out. The cinematography for the action sequences of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is amazing. So, argue with me on that. I truly do think that when it comes to cinematography on action sequences, this is the top one. And just overall cinematography, I really do think this is it. And I really do wish that the staff at Studio Mappa will get their rest, because those guys are being worked to death. After the end of Season 2, they announced the next season already, which is goddamn crazy because those guys are going to die. They need a break. But you got to give them credit where credit is due, and I'll give them credit here. Best art direction. I'm going to be biased when I say this. I'm going to give this a Zom 100. Or maybe Demon Slayer. Or Chainsaw Man. One of these three. Oh, god damn it. This is harder than I expected. Art direction. See, I love Zom 100. It has a very unique art style. Because it doesn't depict zombies as like this black and white zombie apocalypse thing. It's like a rainbow palette. I actually love the color palette for this art direction. Demon Slayer is beautiful. Like, it has beautiful color blending. And then Chainsaw Man is just Chainsaw Man. It has very, very unique aesthetics. See, I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but I wouldn't really give art direction to them. More of animation, cinematography, and that wise, definitely to them, but not for this art direction category. Oh, wow. Okay, hold up. It accidentally took me to a new page because I clicked search for the definition here. Hold up. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, Demon Slayer it is. Sorry, guys. If I can't choose, I'm gonna eeny, meeny, miny, mo this for now. Oh. Best romance. Now we are talking here. This is my category. Let's go. I've watched every single one of these but Insomniacs after school. I feel bad because this is the only one I haven't seen, but I've seen every single one of these. I'm not agreeing with you, John. I'm just giving my personal bias here. Guys, do not think that I'm listening to my audience here. I'm going by how I feel, not by what the audience feels, man. So if y'all voted the same votes I have, or if it's different, then that's just our personal taste. Don't take it personal, man. Ew, this one is going to be hard. I have two here. Horimiya and My Happy Marriage. These are my two. Oh, God. Oh, this is so hard. I love Horimiya, but jeez. My Happy Marriage is a solid series, though. Damn it! Okay, Oh,
God. Why? どうして? Nani? Imano? God. So, how will I do this?
No. Damn. Damn. I swear. I can't choose. I cannot choose. Huh. See, okay. Let us talk about the pros and cons. Horimiya, the pros. Horimiya is Horimiya. It's a beautiful romance series, and the chemistry between the two main characters is amazing. The only problem is that this right here is pretty much going over the stuff they skipped in the first season. So essentially, it's somewhat of a filler arc. It was not a filler arc, but it's essentially filling in the stuff they skipped, which is why it's called the missing pieces, because they're filling in the missing pieces of the story that they skipped within the story arcs within the first season that wasn't shown. So it's basically going back covering them. My Happy Marriage is an amazing fantasy romance series that's pretty much focused on your traditional Japanese marriages, but the same way it has some magical fantasy elements to it. The only downside is that we don't know if it's going to ever get a second season because it's by Kinema Citrus, an anime studio that's not really known for making second seasons too often, but when it does, it's pretty good. I love My Happy Marriage. It even got a live action adaptation, but I don't know how to choose from this. Alrighty. Pros and cons for both of them, huh? How do I choose? That's the question. They're not perfect, but they're not horrible either. They're like super high up here, guys. My hands are trembling. See, you know that one meme where like the guy is sweating? He has to press either the red button or the green button. This, I'm somewhere between here. God damn it, man. I suck at choosing romance series. I think I chose Horimiya. I think 3 to 2 years ago, I chose Horimiya. I'm going to give My Happy Marriage a chance. Just for this once. Because I actually love this series. So, My Happy Marriage, I'm going to give it to you. Alrighty. Best comedy. You're kidding me. This is the best comedy we get? Ooh, that's not a strong selection here. Okay. Hear me out, guys. I'm going to give you my personal opinion about this category right here. Almost all of these animes here, to me, is not comedy animes. This is more... Buddy Daddies and Spy Family are more a slice of life / historical fiction, / realistic fiction animes. Mashals is not funny to me. This is more so of a fun weekly series like Spy Family. Urusei Yatsura, this is... Urusei Yatsura here, this anime here is actually a remake. But Urusei Yatsura is not a bad series. I don't know why they didn't space this out here. I read it like how it is. Urusei Yatsura. That's not how you say it. It's Urusei Yatsura, but whatever. They can fix that later. Zom 100 to me is a great series, but it's not comedy. I'm going to choose Bocchi the Rock. Because Bocchi the Rock is the most comedic to me, personally. But I'm not going to lie, this category was pretty weak this year. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being maybe I'm being too harsh. Best action. Enough said. Best fantasy. Alrighty. This is going to be a biased pick, but I'm going to choose The Ancient Magus Bride for best fantasy series. If we're solely just talking the fantasy genre alone, excluding the action genre, the shonen genre, or any of the other genres, The Ancient Magus Bride is my pick, period. And then probably second to that is Mushoku Tensei. But hear me out. If we're solely just talking about anime only, just the anime genre, the single genre itself, and we're cutting off every other genre that has fantasy in it. So for example, if we use Demon Slayer, and we take away the action genre, the shonen genre, the adventure genre, and everything, and just until at its core, a fantasy anime only for its genre, that I don't think none of these will hold up to the Ancient Magus Bride. The Ancient Magus Bride is pure fantasy. Like, this anime to me can't be beat in terms of just fantasy in itself. No, it's not. This anime is not shonen focused or action focused at all. It's just pure fantasy. But hey, that's my personal pick. Best drama. I have two on here only. Oshinoko and Vinland Saga. These are my only two dramas I'll have on here. My Happy Marriage has See, this is kind of the thing. My Happy Marriage is more so of a melodrama. I wouldn't necessarily put it as a drama, a pure drama series. It's more of a melodrama. God damn it. I'm going to give it to Vinland Saga Season 2. Oshinoko, I love you, but my goodness, you're just not in it for me as of now. Best Slice of Life. This is easy, Horimiya. You can't change my mind on that. Best Main Character. Mob. Can't change my mind on that. Mob is one of my favorite anime characters of all time. He's not up there with Asta. Asta is still probably my number one favorite anime character, but in terms of male protagonist, that is. But Mob is like number 2, number 3, number 5, somewhere between there. This is a character that legit has actual character arcs, and like I love this character. I think Shigeo, aka Mob, is one of the best characters ever conceived onto the anime screen. He's just an ordinary he's literally an ordinary person who just wants to better himself without having to rely on his one trope that makes him stick out, which is his ESP power, his psychic abilities. If you think about it, if you take away Mob's power as a character, if he had no powers, he's legit a regular person. And even then, he shines through as a character. He has actual character motivations, goals, and he goes through character arcs. This is a true character, in my personal opinion. These characters here are amazing, don't get me wrong, but this guy, Peter character, I love them. Best Supporting Character. Must protect at all cost characters. Alright. Okay. Anya Forger, baby. Protect this kid at all cost. Anya Forger is literally the character. You know, now that I think about it, when it comes to Spy Family, Anya Forger is the character that holds the whole family together. Can't change my mind on that. Best Annie song. Okay, hear me out, guys. Idol and Kickback are my two guilty pleasure anime opening songs. I don't talk about it here on the channel, but these two are it. But I listen to Idol more though, so I'm gonna choose Idol. Yeah, Yasobi has great music, okay? So Yasobi, my favorite song from Yasobi without a doubt is Halcyon, if you're wondering. Still is. Best Score. Oh god. I'm gonna give it to Attack on Titan. Sorry, man. I think Attack on Titan has very high note music, so I'm choosing that. Best opening sequence. This is basically best. This is essentially saying what's the best anime opening. I'm gonna choose Kickback. That shit goes hard. Best ending sequence. Alrighty. Happiness of the Dead doesn't really go hard. Koi Kogare doesn't go hard. The Chainsaw Man ending goes hard, but it changes like every single episode. Oshinoko's okay. I like Color. Color is actually a very upbeat ending. I actually like it a lot, but Akari. I don't remember this ending. Probably I to remember it later. Wait, now I remember. That's crazy. It came in last second. Excuse myself. Alright guys, I'm gonna choose Chainsaw Man for now. But might have to revote later. Best voice artist performance in Japanese. Atsumi Tanizaki, Kikunosuke Toya, Mayumi Tanaka, Yoshino Aoyama, Yuichi Nakamura, and Yuki Kaji. This is an easy one. Yuki Kaji this year. Have you seen this guy at the studio booth when he was voice acting? This man was literally on the floor, like on all fours, down on a mic, crying into his role of Eren Yeager just to deliver a killer line. This man... you can't change my mind. Yuki Kaji is my pick. Best voice artist performance in English. Johnny Young Bosch, period. Can't change my mind on that. Like, you can't. I'm sorry. I know I skipped by the English languages. I mean, the English dub so fast. Look, I respect them all here, but hear me out. Johnny, come on. That guy's been in anime forever. He's a GOAT. Like, you can't change my mind on that. Anime of the year. Oh, man. One of these three here. I'm going to choose Jujutsu Kaisen. Why can't I vote? Nope, my bad. Oh, I already said I voted already. Okay. Alright, guys. Two more best continuing series. I'm gonna say One Piece. That's gonna be a bias to say. I like... Why can't I vote? It says I already voted? Why is it doing this to me? Hold up. Oh. Hold up. We're not caught up is what it's saying here. We're already done voting already? Hold up. That can't be right. It says we skipped one. 24 out of 25, but I already voted every single category. Oh, this is the last one I didn't vote for. Best art direction. I'm gonna say Demon Slayer. And there it goes, guys. That's everything. We've officially voted all 25. Oh, man, this one was not too hard. There's only two categories I really want to talk about before I leave for today, and that is best comedy and best romance. This one here was a hard choice for me. I actually like this. This is a very hard category. It tells me that the romance genre is going pretty hard. And then best comedy. It's sad to say this, but I don't really see these here as comedy. These five here are not comedies to me. Bocchi the Rock is, but not a very strong selection though. But still a great series though. But yeah, that's really about it for today, guys. Very interesting voting for sure. But yeah, without further ado, everybody, I guess I'll call this a live stream for today. Ended it off on a vote. And yeah, please go vote as well because every vote matters. And I'm actually curious, what are your personal preferences when it comes to voting for animes? Like, what do you look for in a category? Do you look for that specific niche? Such as, for example, if it was a fantasy series, do you just look at it as like an overall series, or do you try to break it down till it's just a fantasy genre alone as a basis? I'll let you know down below. And also, everybody, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. And my social medias, links to everything is down below, so go check it out. And yeah, push on, push strong. Do not give up on your dreams, guys. Everybody has potential. The only way to know how good of it you have is to try, like legit go all out. But if I go all out, you guys do too. And with that, everybody, I'll see you on the next one. So yeah, see ya.